What's going on, guys? It's Dale here from DemSec, and in this video we're going to be following on from the previous video where we set up a DNS tunnel and used it on Kali. So in my Discord server, and there'll be a link to that in the description if you want to join, me and Jet Black, who's a user on there, have been just kind of working out how to get this working on Android, and he sent me the package you see behind here, which is and iodine, whatever they want to call it. But this allows you to use an iodine DNS tunnel on Android, and we set it up and we weren't able to put traffic over it, and initially we thought, okay, maybe we should just do an SSH tunnel and do some proxy settings, and that did work. But then I managed to find a way to make it work without having to do all the the SSH tunneling and all that kind of cool stuff. So this system's already set up with iodine, so if you haven't seen the previous video, link on the screen, maybe in the card in the top right, wherever YouTube decides to put it, click on that and that'll show you how to get to where we are now. So in this case we need to make a few changes to this system, and I'm going to be pasting some commands one by one and explaining what they do. So this first one here tells the system to allow IP forwarding on the system. So I've always kind of dumbed this down to saying this basically allows it to be a router, allows it to pass traffic from behind it in front of it, if that makes any sense. So if there's a system behind this, which technically once we do the DNS tunnel where an interface on the system, we're technically behind this system, it allows it to forward it out. So I've gone ahead and done that. The next one is an iptables command, and if I just paste that in, and all of these in the description, just look down there, don't bother trying to write these out because that's just too much effort. This command here uses iptables, which is the built-in firewall in pretty much every Linux system. There's probably some that don't use it, but it's built into most Linux systems. And this adds a rule to the NAT table, and network address translation is pretty simple. All network address translation is if I'm behind a router, so even in your home you use NAT most likely, I go to the router and say, alright, I want this resource, and what it does is from the packet it strips off the source and destination address, which would be your local machine with a local IP address, puts on your external IP and the IP address of the web server, for example, you're trying to hit, sends it along, and then when it gets it back, it keeps a record of you asking for that. And when it gets a packet back from that system, it strips off the actual source and destination IP, puts yours back on, and then forwards it to you. So it's pretty simple. And this adds a rule which basically says allow any traffic out of ETH0, which on this system is its public IP because it's a VPS, and masquerade it. Masquerade is literally just a term which means NAT, which I just explained. So if I run that, we're now natting. The next one is here, and it basically says allow traffic if allow the system to forward traffic if the outbound sorry, this is the other way around. Allow traffic back in on ETH0 to DNS0 if the state of that connection is related or established. So only allow traffic back in if I've actually requested it, so don't allow Google just send crap to my system. Only allow it if it's an established or related connection. And then the final one is what I was explaining before but got confused. So this is if the source is DNS0, the interface DNS0, and it's going outbound ETH0, just accept it no matter what. So with that set up, we're ready to go. We can go ahead and restart iodine. And I won't explain this because I've explained it in the previous video, and you can go ahead and watch that if you need to. And oh, what did I mess up? Oh, sorry, it's iodine D. And enter a password. I'm just going to do test for this scenario. And now we're going to head over to my phone, install this app, and then show you how to get it working. So with that open, I've tried running this release unsigned and it just wouldn't work. So I'm going to go ahead and download the iodine GitHub ARM debug because that one just worked for me. And I'm going to download it. It says I've already downloaded it again, but for the purposes of the video, I've gone ahead and removed it. I'm going to open it, and it's going to say, for security, phone has blocked unknown sources. So I'm going to have to go into settings, enable unknown sources, okay. And then what I can go ahead and do is, well, I don't need to re-download it, but just because it's more convenient, I will do. And I can open it, and hit install. Oh, this time this one's saying it's corrupt, so let's try, oh sorry, no, I clicked the wrong one, didn't I, that second time, so we're going to hit debug mode, debug, APK, whatever, install, and then I'm going to go ahead and open it. So this is iodine, and it's pretty simple to use. So in the top right hand corner you see the key with a plus, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and click. I'm going to leave it as new connection because I don't really care what it's called. And then you go enter the same domain that you use for your DNS tunnel. With that complete, we need to enter the password. I'm just going to say test. And then the rest of it, we can leave by default, but I'd also say enable raw mode. And what raw mode's going to do is if it's possible on the network you're using, it's going to try and send the DNS packets directly to your server, and that's just going to speed things up a lot. So with that set, we can just hit back, and we've got this new connection. We've got to click on it, and it's going to work as a VPN. So it's going to try and connect to our server, and it's handshake successful, and raw logins work perfectly, so we should get some pretty decent speeds. And a way to check that it's working, we're going to go to myip.is, and it's going to load, and we've got the same IP that we had on the server. And it's that simple. And yeah, that is literally it for this video. Pretty simple and, well, very effective. If you like this video, guys, leave a like down below. Not a link, I mean, if you've got anything cool to show me, feel free to show a link, but a like would be also appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already, and yeah, all the links and everything, as always, down in the description, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.